All right, my friends, welcome to episode 122 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I'm the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. And over there's Anthony, the dev at Summerspeak on Twitter. How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Been a quiet weekend.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Relaxing, having one of the first, true nothing going on weekends in, 2.5 months.
Nice.
So.
Cozying up with some video games or some books?
Yeah, some books, and played some games. We'll get to that.
Yeah, for sure. My weekend, I went to Hamilton last night. My colleague had tickets. She's a season ticket holder, and I told her a long time ago, if you get extra tickets, I'll pay whatever you want for them because I want to go real bad. And then she gave them to me for face value.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was rad.
There you go.
We were in the second row of the mezzanine, so we had a really nice shot down. You know, when we went to the same place to see Rent when you were down here in 09.
Right.
Yeah, it was so good. Different cast completely, but except for one. King George was the same, but it was really good. Yeah, just awesome. So this episode we are going to talk about the Nintendo Direct that actually did happen. The Direct
the Mini.
Yeah, the Mini. Let's add that Mini there. I think that helped temper expectations.
It did temper expectations when it started.
But until then,
man, was the internet on fire.
Man, they were
leading up to this thing. It could have been everything could have been announced.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Well, the internet wasn't the only thing on fire. Chibi Robo was on fire.
I saw that. Yeah.
Obsidian had some stuff. Whatever. A bunch of people had made us think that it was going to be Fire Emblem related. Just seeing the internet try to parse everything, at reset error or whatever. This means this. It meant nothing. And then they just dropped it out of nowhere. Which I saw one person piece it together before the Direct hit, where it was the Chibi Robo, and then a different account tweeted out the Tomodachi Life hot dog or whatever.
Yeah.
And the person was like, both of those were directs that were not announced ahead of time. They were just dropped without an announcement, and that's exactly what happened. So we got this Nintendo Direct Mini on, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Do you want to kind of go through the games that were announced and talk about... Well, actually, before we do that, before we get to the granular stuff, just overall, what was your impression of the Direct?
It was short and kind of just fast and furious with, little announcements. Nothing, I would say, huge.
Right.
Although I feel like they opened with something unexpected and ended with something really unexpected.
And as a person who didn't have a Wii U, how do you feel about the preponderance of Wii U ports?
Thumbs up.
Awesome.
Give me good games that I missed, basically. And
yeah. Were you ever? Sorry, go ahead.
No issues there.
Were you ever a fan of Donkey Kong Country?
The original ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I had them on the SNES.
Yeah.
The first two, I remember really enjoying. But they're not ones that stick with me though.
Yeah. Well, one of the games that we'll get to later, I'm considering double dipping on because it's just incredible. It's so good, and to have that portable would be great. But my impressions, I think I kind of wanted to hear what you thought first, because as a person who had a Wii U and had all the games that are being ported pretty much, I thought it was good. I wasn't blown away, but I had played several of these games already.
Even if I'm not interested in the specific games they're porting here as much,
mm-hmm.
it gives me hope that they will port games that I am interested in. Anything that was considered high quality or high Metacritic score
mm-hmm.
will see light of day on Switch.
What do you think is left that hasn't been announced that fits into that category?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Mm-hmm. I hope
that
so.
was a big one.
Yeah.
I've brought up before, a Smash Brothers. I assume they're just going to do. My prediction is they'll just do a completely new Smash Brothers. But
right.
If they're going for quick, they could just be port over. Which one was the Wii U one?
Smash for Wii U.
Huh?
Smash for Wii U?
Yeah, which one was that?
That's what it was called, Smash for Wii U.
Yeah. They could bring stuff like that over pretty easily. Was there other stuff on there? I never paid a huge amount of attention.
I think Mario 3D World.
Oh, right.
I think
those ones.
I think that will be ported. I think Mario Maker will get a sequel. And I think
what's the Toad? Captain Toad, yeah.
I think Captain Toad will get a sequel with the original Captain Toad bundled in. That game is rad.
I've had a couple friends up here just waiting for that to be announced for the Switch.
Yeah, it's really good. You should. I think that's a great game to play with your kids because they could help you or you could have them help you figure out the puzzles and stuff. I think I almost think that could be like DLC for Odyssey, because Captain Toad's in Odyssey too. So
That's true.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I hope that comes. It just felt so niche, but it was just wasted on the Wii U. Like I feel like it would find an audience on the Switch.
I think it would find an audience now, one, because Fire Emblem's popular, and how popular Persona is now.
Right.
Like, it's combining two very popular franchises that, one, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, people wouldn't even considered.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like the Wii U just, it went under the radar on there. Like, the install base wasn't that big, and then I could see a lot of people that were like, oh, I'm not going to buy an entire console for this game.
No. And even now, like, it wouldn't make sense because it's still pretty expensive, the Wii U. I think it's like $150 or something like that. So it's good, really good. I think it's smart to see them porting all these games over because it's, I don't know, quote unquote easy, I guess. But they don't have to do like a ton of development. And I'm just hoping that like, well, we'll get there when we do. But the resources they spend, I hope, are not too much to port them over.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Why don't you take the first game that was announced? That was a big one that I don't know much about.
You have The World Ends With You. What would they call it? Remixed.
Yeah.
So this is a game I actually have the cart still for the DS when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I've only ever played it on the DS. I know that there's an iPad version. I think
I have it on my iPhone.
Yeah, I think that they ported it to iOS. The DS version, I mean, I don't know how it works on the phone and stuff, but like the DS, there was 2 screens and you were controlling 2 different combats basically, like passing an orb back and forth between screens.
Right.
To do better combos. It was really interesting. I mean, it was like one of the first modern day like JRPGs I've played. Just really cool music, very stylized. I mean, I look at it here and like people are like, this is kind of low hanging fruit, but I can also see Square being like, let's get this back out there. And it's something I just didn't expect to see on the Switch. And I have no clue what they're going to do on the controls. Because they said it uses touch. Okay, so that would assume play like the iOS version.
Yeah.
But they said they're going to do controls for the Joy-Cons. I have no clue what this is going to be.
Right.
So each version of this game as it's come out clearly is not just a straight port of... Because they can't. The controls have to be changed and modified, which means that the combat needs to be modified. So... I'm curious how they're going to adapt it to the Switch. Did they give it a release date for it?
They just said spring 2018. Or sorry. They just said 2018.
2018. All right.
Yeah, just the year. When I saw that announcement, first I thought, well, that's cool that I want to see a lot of companies bringing like a lot of their back catalog that are really strong games to the Switch, just to have like everything consolidated into this one handheld. That'd be great. But I was just kicking myself that my prediction wasn't a DS or 3DS game is going to be ported to the Switch. Because, man, I almost had it. But I'm glad for people who are excited. I don't think I have it on the phone, and I didn't get too into it, so I'm probably not going to pick this one up. The next announcement was about some DLC for Pokken Tournament. Some new Pokemon who I can't really pronounce and don't know much about, but maybe you do. Do you know anything about them?
I don't remember which ones they were from the...
There's like that Aegis something. Aegis...
Oh, yeah, the Aegis Sword.
Blade, Aegis Slash.
Aegis Blade.
Aegis Slash.
Yeah, and Blastoise.
Right.
So, it's just miscellaneous. The game must be doing decently well that they just keep on adding more Pokemon to it.
Right.
So, it's one that I still want to get, because I think my kids would love it.
Yeah.
And it's a weird introduction to fighting games, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's done by the Tekken tournaments.
Yeah.
Or Tekken team, I mean. So that's...
I mean, it's a real fighting game.
Yeah. I mean, I still have some PTSD about it because at that Nintendo tournament, I had the final round, and I lost. I had never played the game before, and I just got worked. So I probably won't play it.
New Kirby.
Oh, yeah, the next one is Kirby Star Allies, which I guess I didn't know the title of before.
Yeah, I mean, that's just coming out sometime this year.
It's March, actually.
March, okay.
Got a couple new abilities to like draw something and have that
and it was co-op too.
Oh, that was right.
Mm-hmm. That was interesting.
Seems like a cool game to play with your kids or play with kids.
Yeah.
Because this, obviously it's a simpler platformer.
Yeah.
The Kirby stuff, it looks pretty. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's for me so much. Might be worth a rental. I just think that the Kirby games are pretty quick for me.
I would agree. And then we got on to the first of the Wii U ports, I guess.
Yep. Right.
ultimate version of Hyrule Warriors. So it plus all DLC.
Yeah, and it combines the Wii U version plus the 3DS version, which I was happy to see. Because I have the Wii U version and all the DLC. And I guess I'm having like issues with some of these games because this game I got probably like 8 hours into, and then my save got destroyed somehow. So I just couldn't bring myself to go back and do it again. So I haven't played it since then. Since 2014, I think is when it came out.
Wow.
But they've added, the 3DS and Wii U stuff. But they also added Zelda and Link from Breath of the Wild, their costumes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's called the definitive edition.
Yeah, and it's coming out in the spring. Is this something that you're gonna pick up?
I'd consider it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fun. Again, trying not to spend too much money.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to hold you to the same thing that you did in some ways, and going, you know what? If I can hold out until November, December, I can get a bunch of these games a lot cheaper.
The only thing is about Nintendo games where I don't feel like they drop in price that much.
They really don't.
So yeah, I guess that the only thing is like the Amazon discount is probably the best discount you'll get all year on Nintendo games. But
that's true.
I'm gonna hold the line. I haven't bought a game in 2 weeks. No, maybe like 17 days, which is the longest stretch I've gone in years. So I'm holding to it. I don't know if I'll double dip on that game. I think that it's fun, but I don't know. Musou games kind of get repetitive for me.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a hallmark of those games.
Yeah.
You do the same thing over and over.
Right. At least the Fire Emblem had they added like a strategy element to it where you could switch characters and tell people to do different things on the battlefield. The next game was also a Wii U port. I mean, I think it's a Wii U port, but it's not technically a Wii U port. This is Mario Tennis Aces. And on the Wii U, there was Superstar Tennis or Super something tennis. Anyway, it came out 2015 or 16, and it was just like a really pretty tennis game, but not much to it. And this has kind of got that same, basically that same gameplay plus this really cool looking story mode.
So yeah, I mean, it sounds like they took that Wii U version and were like, well, let's address people's complaints and make a true like Mario tennis game.
Right, that's exactly what it looked like to me too. It looks the tennis part looks really identical to it.
Oh, I'm sure. Why try to fix something that's not broken?
Right. And it was fun. Like my wife and I played it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like tennis, it's fun.
Oh, I'm sure it'd be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it was just repetitive, but the story mode makes it like I definitely want to play this one.
That'll be a fun one. This is one that I wasn't expecting in here.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, you're making a tennis game. Clearly, some people at Nintendo really like their tennis.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they would do a new Super Strikers.
The
soccer game for the. I think it was the GameCube, but it was on the Wii. Yeah, the Wii.
Yeah, the Wii.
God, that was so good. Really enjoyed that one. Next one.
Maybe eventually.
Next one.
I don't know anything about this series either.
Okay.
Really.
I was hoping you did.
I mean, I've looked at it it's gone pushed at me on Steam. It's like JRPG action RPG stuff. Very long running series. I mean, this is 8 in the series. Yeah.
Right. It just looks like
I know they have a popular player base, but a very dedicated audience. But I've never dipped into it, so I'm sure this makes some people very happy.
Yeah, I saw some people on Twitter who were pretty happy about it, and I thought, good for you. I mean, it looks like Xenoblade to me. I'm still looking for like a nice meaty RPG to grab for the Switch, and I wasn't impressed by the reviews for Xenoblade.
No.
So maybe this will be it. Probably not. I think I'm probably waiting for Octopath Traveler, to be honest.
You and me both.
Yeah. The next one, like we're gonna have an argument at the end of the year about this one. Just because of my prediction, I said that there's going to be DLC announced for Mario Odyssey, and it's going to be announced. If they don't talk about it at this direct, they won't talk about it at all. And I don't think we're going to argue too much about the fact that this, I mean, while it's technically some content that you download, it's not really DLC. It's this Luigi balloon world thing where you hide balloons and then other players in this multiplayer arena come and find your balloon. But I did mention that Luigi would be in whatever DLC there was, so there's Luigi here. It's technically downloadable. But I don't think we're going to have too much of a fight with that because I think we both agree this isn't really what I meant by DLC. However, sorry.
You are technically there.
I think technically is the best kind of correct, and it feels good. But I think the thing that I want to pull out of this is that when I said if they don't talk about it in this direct, they won't talk about it anywhere. because they talked about it in this direct, I think it still makes my prediction valid. I think that it pushes it to the next direct now. Like they're gonna.
I would expect if they're showing stuff here that ideally they'll be showing more updates and full DLC later on this year.
Exactly. I think this means that there is going to be new DLC coming, and because they talked about it at this direct, that means there's stuff coming later. Because this is not much.
I don't think this invalidates your prediction at all.
I think there's an argument to be had, and it'll be fun to have it next year. But I think it opens the door for more, so I think it extends my timeline a little bit. Next one, SNK from Neo Geo, I guess.
Yeah,
SNK?
all these Neo Geo.
All the hamster
like
games.
Exactly. King of Fighters. Samurai Showdown.
Yep.
Is SNK? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So this is this is a modern. This isn't the port of an old game. This is like
no, this is a completely new game.
Yeah, and it's all female characters fighting in the fighting game. I don't know much about it. It looks like a fighting game. It's got all female characters. That's all I can say. Any interest in that one?
No, not really. I think you'll have interest in this next one, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have quite a bit of interest in the next one. I was wondering who the DLC character was going to be. And it turns out it's going to be Donkey Kong. And I think his animation, like his demeanor or whatever, like this video basically they showed of their DK model and what he's going to be like, looks rad. Like I really like their character model. It looks really good. It's like Nintendo didn't make this. Like it looks really, really, really good. So I don't know what the story is going to be, but it would be cool to have a new character. And I imagine if there's going to be Donkey Kong, they've got to have a rabid Donkey Kong too.
Oh man.
You know, I just imagine that maybe it'll be like a rabbit that looks like Diddy Kong. I don't know, but
Grandpa. What is it, Grandpa Kong? Gramps.
Oh yeah, Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong.
Yeah.
That could be a rabbit.
Oh god. So it's coming this spring. So I texted Brad, the guy my friend who I lent this game to. And I said, I'm going to come over and get that back because this is coming out sooner than later.
It is.
And I want to jump back into this. Are you, maybe when I beat it, I'll send it to you?
Yeah, I would totally be up for playing it.
Cool.
It is, so they've now introduced Donkey Kong to this. So it's not just Mario and Rabbids. Are they opening this up to all Nintendo characters?
I wonder because it's like 1 degree of separation, right? Because Mario or Jumpman
I guess
was
Donkey
in Donkey Kong
and Mario are the same. Yeah, but this isn't like this is Donkey Kong Country Donkey Kong.
That's true.
Like that's at least what it looks like.
No, it definitely is, and that's not someone. You know, the red tie and stuff is Donkey Kong Country. That means that Mario hasn't been with that guy except for in Smash or Mario Kart, basically.
Yeah.
I hope it opens it up to like. I would love to see like. Imagine if they took this idea and tied it in with a Splatoon.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that'd be rad. A lot of people are talking about wanting it as Legend of Zelda plus Rabbids or whatever, which would also be cool. I think Metroid plus Rabbids would be.
Oh, Metroid would be hilarious.
It would be like a tonal.
Oh man, I want to see a Rabbid Metroid.
Yeah, it'd totally
That's
be
the dumbest thing ever.
So weird, but you know, I don't know. The gun thing makes sense. I just hope I hope when they do a sequel, it's not Mario and Rabbids 2. I want to see like a different franchise.
Nintendo plus Rabbids.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like Nintendo Rabbids. You know, like we basically have Nintendo Kart now instead of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So, next one is Payday 2. I don't know.
I don't
much
care
about it.
We can move past that one.
Yeah.
And
okay.
The next one, I've never played any of these indie things. Are they out yet?
Fae or Fee is coming out in God damn it. It's coming out in February, and Celeste is coming out 25th of this month.
Okay.
And Celeste is by the Towerfall developers.
Right. Yeah.
I guess it's the toughest nails platformer, but it's got some like assist mode, basically like Odyssey, basically. See if I can say basically 5 more times. And then Fae is like a 3D platformer from it's EA studio, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an EA indie thing.
Kind of like Unravel thing or whatever.
Yeah. Following that.
Yeah, people are excited about both of them. I don't know much about them. I haven't seen much about them. So
yeah.
And I'm not buying games till November, so I'll check out some Let's Plays basically, and I'm keeping a list of games that I probably want to buy. So we'll keep them on the list.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out on them. See, I will be on the lookout for games for the Switch. That's for sure.
Right.
But
the next game on the list here was I was most excited about this one. Probably after the DLC for Rabbids, mainly because people who didn't get to play this game, it's like probably my favorite 2D platformer. Like I think it's probably the best that I've ever played. And it's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is coming to the Switch, and they're adding an easy
Funky
mode, basically.
Kong.
Funky Kong with his surfboard can float and jump on spikes. It's just, I like what they're doing with here's a challenge, but if you don't want a challenge, here's the assist mode, basically. But I just hope Retro Studios...
that's the one I'd put on for my kids.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was even watching, I'm like, what's the point of playing this game when playing that character anymore?
It's exactly
like,
what
I mean,
said.
Are you playing it for the story? Is there a worthwhile story that you'd want to play it for the story?
No. I mean,
exactly.
It's like as much story as Donkey Kong Country had.
Platform.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's someone took his bananas basically. So
yeah.
let's go get them. But it's like sublime platforming and it's hard as hell. Like I just felt like it was such an achievement when I beat it. Like I brought it to my wife's house in L.A. when I was on break and she was working, and just like during the day I just played the crap out of this game like 3 days in a row and beat it. And a couple times I had to set my controller down and walk away. It's one of those, and I don't think you're as into platforming as I am, so I'm not sure if it's a game that I would suggest that you go out and get. But if anyone listening is like a platformer fan and has never played this game, it's just a no-brainer. Like full price, just get it. It's amazing, and funky is weird.
Yeah, maybe that's the next rabbit. Maybe Funky Kong Rabbit will be there.
That'd be funny.
And that they ended with, for me, I was not expecting this at all. Dark Souls Remastered. So people will get their portable Dark Souls, finally.
That's amazing.
Nintendo fans.
Not me, because fuck that game. But
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you say that
again? Actually, because people actually get... I saw an argument going on this past weekend where people were like, explaining the Dark Souls and the Souls games are all about just like screwing you as the player. Like, and I would actually say no, they don't. Especially the first Dark Souls doesn't typically do that. Like they are fair. If you are paying attention, being cautious, you will be okay. They punish you for overextending.
Exactly.
Always, and not learning. Like, sure, you might die to new enemies because you have to learn how they're going to attack. Like it's a game about learning, and its difficulty comes from that. It almost never feels like you are just being screwed because the game says, well, you're screwed now. We're just going to do stuff that's completely unfair.
And I played that on my Xbox, Dark Souls, and I didn't feel it was unfair. I just felt like I had a better use of my time than to just beat my head over this thing, beat my head against this thing over and over again.
And that's kind of where I fell with Bloodborne too. Like,
yeah,
I like Bloodborne to a point, except when I died on way far away from the bonfire because I'm progressing to the next area or to the next bonfire or the boss, and I die. I hate running back there.
Yeah.
Or like, there's been a number of games now that have that kind of, especially epic boss fights, learning the patterns. But when you die, you don't start all the way back far away.
Right.
You can just go back into the boss and try again. I appreciate that much more, and I'm more willing to do that than feel like I'm just wasting my time having to go through trash stuff over and over and over. So
yeah, and I feel like particularly like those of us with kids who are like, I have like, let's say I have 60 minutes and I don't want to spend 40 of those running back across this place that I've done 7 times,
Yeah.
So, like something like Cuphead, where it's basically a boss rush where you just start over again.
Yeah.
Right at the boss.
So, which is fine. So no, Dark Souls is not the game for me, even though I've played bosses. I think I beat the first 4 bosses in Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got into it farther and enough to learn that A, it's not the game for me, but B, that it is an incredibly well-designed game, and that the level design is incredible in that game. Holy crap. Just the way that things loop back together and you kick down a ladder and you're like, oh, I'm here.
Like it's the shortcuts, right?
It's the shortcuts, the way that the levels wrap and are so intricately put together. This giant open world all hooks together. It from a design standpoint, it's always amazed me. Takes so much planning to do that.
In recent podcasts after this direct, I've heard a couple of people say, and I want to ask you if you think this is true or not, because I don't know. Said that when they played Dark Souls the first time and like played through the game, they felt like it was like a modern Legend of Zelda.
I mean, I can see the analogy of there, but not completely.
Because it's not like you don't get like certain new weapons to like be able to do new things in new bosses,
I mean,
right?
you get new weapons and stuff, but no, not in the way that they're
Not like the
talking
hook
about.
shot or fire
Yeah,
wand or whatever.
not in that sense. And
Yeah, I wonder what they
it's
meant.
not exactly. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I see elements of it. It's of the like RPG adventure stuff there. Dark Souls is far more RPG than Zelda.
Right. Yeah.
And Zelda's a much more of a light RPG, much more just adventure game.
Right.
So it's
Yeah, I
bits
guess
and
maybe
pieces.
that's what
I would not call Dark Souls a modern Zelda though. I mean, we have that. That's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Well, this was before Breath of the Wild. I think they just meant like in terms of the adventuring, perhaps. Like
maybe. I mean, yeah, I could see that somewhat.
it just seemed like a stretch to me.
I would agree. It's not. It doesn't line up
Yeah.
nicely in my head. But I'm excited for that. That was an unexpected announcement at the end, though.
I think it opens up the floodgates for other developers to put on their old, their back catalog. Things that
especially
could run on the PS3
that people still want.
Yeah,
like
people are still playing this game now. To have it portably.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Portability. People want that.
And I think the news of this game is that it's going to come out for $40, which is kind of nice to see these remastered or ported games coming out for less than full price, which is something that I wish Nintendo would do. Like, I don't think Donkey Kong should be full price because it's already been full price,
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be 60.
Probably.
Yeah. So, and it's worth it. It's amazing. But for those of us who played it already, it's.
I double dip on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I probably will I would double dip for half price, but I'm not going to pay more than half price for it. Yeah, so that was the Direct. I think some people were disappointed that there wasn't more because, like you said, all the hype beforehand.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I thought there were good announcements and a good amount of games, and it's a mini, so it means there's something else coming eventually.
Yeah, didn't someone online basically said within 20 days?
Yep.
After a mini, within 20 days there's a full Direct, or 24 or something like that. So exactly. Mid to late February, we should be getting a full Direct.
Yeah, and I think that it might be focused on just one game or one thing. I don't know if looking back at the Directs right now, there's an ARMS Direct, there's the Fire Emblem Direct, Pokemon, Splatoon 2, Animal Crossing, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It seems like a lot of the Directs are now like focused on one game, which makes me think that it might be Fire Emblem. I don't know. I don't see that as like a huge E3 game. I think
and again, like the way Nintendo has done E3s now is very different.
Yeah,
they don't just do their big announcement. Like, you should know what's going to be shown at E3 before E3 starts, and they're just like, E3, we're focusing on this game and this game, and people are going to be to play that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fire Emblem is an E3 game. Like, they're going to be here at our booth. People can play Fire Emblem. That's what we're doing. Because last year was Zelda at E3? No. Mario. It was all Mario.
Right.
The year before was all Zelda.
Right. And it was all Zelda. Like they didn't talk about anything else at all.
Pretty much. This year they were almost all Mario, but then they did show off Samus Returns. Maybe a little Rabbids.
Well, but they were
during E3 itself.
Well, they showed it was like Metroid Prime 4.
Oh right, they did that little. Was that a Direct though?
Yeah, it was in a Direct style.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't do a big person on stage or anything. They just did that Direct.
They did Direct, exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. They'll announce more stuff, but I could see Fire Emblem being featured a lot at E3. That would make sense.
I feel like at E3 it's gonna be Smash. Like I just think it's gonna be Smash. Maybe Smash and Mario Maker 2, but I don't know. Something like top echelon. I don't know if Fire Emblem is that. Although they're trying to make Fire Emblem that.
Exactly, they're trying. And
you know what?
That's how you do it.
I think we talked last week. No, we talked on text. Basically, I said something like there were no 3DS announcements here, and you're like, oh, 3DS is dead. But did you know that during that same week they announced that the Pikachu, Detective Pikachu was coming to
I did
US?
see that with a giant amiibo.
Oh, really? With a giant amiibo?
Oh yeah, it's like a Pikachu amiibo that's like 3 times as big as the current Pikachu amiibo.
Oh my god!
It's like this enormous amiibo. I kind of love how amiibos can be anything that they want them to be.
I have a cereal box that's an amiibo.
That's ridiculous.
I know. It just gives you like a heart or coins. It's nothing, and the cereal was just basically Lucky Charms with a berry flavor.
Okay.
So I saved you all a trip to the store.
Hey, I was at the store after you sent me that picture, and I was like, does my store have that? No, they don't.
Oh, that sucks.
If they did, I probably would have got one and then got crap from my wife, but that's fine. It's worth it.
I got it, and I texted you that picture, and I texted my wife the picture. I was like, look what I got. She's like, oh, my God. She would have facepalmed if she could have.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so why don't we transition to what we have been playing this week?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll start with you.
Okay. So continued through some more Breath of the Wild. Just because I can. It's there. It's really easy to pick up and just continue to play. And beyond that, I mean, what more can we say about the game? It's just incredible. And playing it through a second time, still incredible. I'm still finding new things.
Awesome.
And
you're going in a different direction?
Roughly, I mean, I did the main quest point until I did Hotno, then back to Kakariko, and then got out of Kakariko. And actually, where I've been is actually been spending a lot of my time around Kakariko, doing a lot of the side quests, which I didn't do in my first playthrough. So finding the chickens, the hide and seek stuff, just doing all the stuff in the town, because I'm pretty sure it opens up another shrine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's another shrine up there.
Okay.
But you have to do all these quests. I'm almost certain you have to do all these quests to get the ball to stick into the hole that you can make the shrine appear. So
yeah,
was doing that. I've been spending a ton of time there. What else have I? Beyond that, this weekend and a little bit end of last week, I've been trying more card games on Steam, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, and this time more card game strategy games. There's a game that I played before called Duelyst, which is like a pixel-based, card-based strategy game. So you have, whenever you cast a creature, it spawns it onto a map, and you can move them around.
That's kind of cool.
Duelyst is really good. Then I played this game called Shardbound, which I now found out is completely abandoned. It's still just up on Steam, but it's an abandoned early access game. And it shows there's tons of placeholder stuff in it. Good concept, but doesn't do anything more exciting than Duelyst does. And Duelyst is a popular updated game, so that didn't work out. And then I played one called Faeria, which it's a strange one. You basically are playing you have an orb, your base on one side, enemy has a orb base on the other side, and there's a grid of hexes that go out from you to them. And every turn, you build lands onto the water. That's water hexes between you. So you can build prairies, you can build forests and mountains and everything. And you need to build a path to your opponent, but also the lands that you build is your mana to what type of creatures you can play. It's really interesting once I got into it.
So you're terraforming to give yourself
resources. And the thing is, you can build 2 basic prairies, which don't give you anything. They just allow you to capture more land out there and maybe cut off your opponent from getting a path to you easily.
Right.
But if you want to build a special thing, you only get to build 1 of those per turn. So there's a balance, and each of your units can move 1 hex once you spawn them, and you can spawn them on typically any of your tiles. Some require specifics like, this can only spawn on a forest. So you kind of want to put certain land types closer to your enemy when you can, and they have to be connected. You can't just build one arbitrarily in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know. There's a part of me that's been playing it, realizing that the map is small enough that there's probably optimal way to build paths and like a certain level of chess-like there, because you always can do it. So if your opponent builds to this direction, you should do this. Beyond just the normal stuff of what you need to make your deck function. So,
and the game's called what again?
Faeria, Faeria. Okay.
That sounds pretty interesting.
It is an interesting one. It has a bunch of single player content. It's free.
Okay.
It's free to play,
free.
and
yeah,
it's very Hearthstone like. You can open packs for cards, but it has a ton of single player content, which has been a lot of fun to just delve into.
I might check that out.
Yeah, I think it's
free to play. Helps me play it now.
Yeah. It was a pretty interesting one. And then when I haven't been playing games, the rest of my time was spent watching Awesome Games Done Quick.
Man, tell me about that Breath of the Wild speedrun.
So, I mean, I didn't watch all of it, considering it
4
started
hours.
at like 11 o'clock at night. I watched it until like 1 in the morning. And then
That's
I think
when
I fell
Brad
asleep.
texted
And
me
then
like at 10:40. Yeah.
dreamt about playing Breath of the Wild. Like, it messed my dreams up.
Oh,
like,
man.
Not in a bad way, but I'm like, woke up in the morning, I'm like, oh, wow, I wasn't watching the speedrun. I was dreaming that I was playing a speedrun of Breath of the Wild. Whatever. But, so the speedrun that they ended AGDQ with was not a just get to Bowser and beat Bowser as quickly as possible, because I think those runs are about 45 minutes now, 45.
Oh my God, Bowser's in Breath of the Wild?
Not Bowser, Ganon, sorry. I'm tired too. But this was what they had to do the entire it was in Master Mode 1.
Oh, wow.
And they had to beat all of the main quest. So they had to
all
do
the main quests?
Yeah, so they had to do all the memories,
the Divine Beasts,
all the Divine Beasts, all the memories, and the Master Sword.
Damn.
So they had to do 70 some odd shrines.
Right.
And the person and of course it's a great speedrun, because there's the guy speedrunning and he's talking about what he's doing, and there's a couple other people just talking about how they practice this. And like, whenever you think of this type of run specifically, which seems like it's going to be a popular run for Breath of the Wild, how do you route that?
Right.
Like, on a base level, going, what's the fastest way so that I can beat everything that I need to beat, and what shrine should I hit, and what path should I take between the shrines? They were doing stasis launches all over the place. The amount of rocket trees that I saw was pretty hilarious.
Rocket trees.
So you there's a couple trees you can like hit them a couple times and they'll tip over, and you stasis them before they fall completely over, so that they're angled up. And then you hit them so that they'll go full stasis launch, and you jump Link onto it, holding onto the tree.
Jesus Christ.
And you just launch, and then jump off and glide to wherever you're going to go.
Oh my God, I want to do that. That's awesome.
It's really cool. And the shrine, they talk through some of the shrines. Like, there's one that like, this is the longest shrine in the game, and watch this. And then they beat it in like 4 seconds.
They just glitched through it, or what?
Kind of. I don't know if I'd call it a glitch. Like, some of it is not glitch. Like, one was using this is again another stasis launch, using a barrel, and you stasis it at a specific part of the wall, and then Link jumps, and right before it goes off, Link jumps in front of it. It hits you and throws you up through an actual hole in the ground, which puts you right at the end of the shrine.
Oh my God. Like, the trial and error that goes into figuring that shit out, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. I assume it's up on video now to watch this 4-hour thing, and it.
Yeah, Brad sent me the
if you don't watch the entire thing, it's just incredible to watch how they do it, and how they decide which divine beast to go at first.
Are they deciding like in the moment, or they already like planned it out?
No, they have it planned, because they need certain divine beast powers,
right,
to make the run faster. Like, they need Rivali's Scale.
Right.
Watching it, I just learned tons of like interesting paths through the world that I had never seen before. They had a really fast way into Hyrule Castle, because they got the memory in Hyrule Castle, Zelda's. And I was like, man, you're going here really early. And
did they go the waterfall at the back side?
No,
okay.
Nothing like that. Like, this really weird kind of coming in from I think they were coming in from the west. And there's this bridge, like this whole thing bridge, and then they just did 3 Rivali's Gales at specific times, and it got them right up to where they needed to be.
Oh my God.
And then they had a way to drop down, and then they launched themselves out of the castle with the stasis launch.
I gotta watch this. Brad was just like going nuts over it.
This makes me go like, this game is incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. And then people are doing this kind of stuff. I need to watch the last 2 hours, but because 1 o'clock I was so tired. But they've ended up raising it's not
2.2 or 2.3 million.
2.26 million. It was 40,000 more than they raised last year.
That's crazy.
So, when I was watching, they crossed 2 million when I was watching. So, it was super exciting to see all that.
What a finale.
Yeah, they chose well. And I think this is the first time that a full speedrun like this has been featured. So,
well, I'm glad to see that the speedrun was more than just a 45-minute go to Ganon, beat it, because that's.
Well, I'm sure that's a fine one to do.
Yeah,
and I feel like,
that's
but
like
it's
the pure
a more
one, right? Like
known.
It's like the any percentage, right? Just beat the game.
Yeah. This one is a very specific thing,
Yeah.
and I could see people iterating on this and just shaving off seconds, even minutes, for years to come. So pretty crazy. They're getting very detailed into weird like whistle running, which I didn't know about.
Oh yeah, totally.
You can glitch your running out.
I did that a lot.
You can do some weird stuff with horses, like getting your horse, like the spurs back. Like you can do some weird like almost hop off, get back on, and they all come back. Like all sorts of weird stuff. It was a great way to end it though. God.
Yeah, that sounds like an ending with a bang.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Nintendo didn't patch out the whistle run thing, because that was discovered way early.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that they're doing in here that's strange that hasn't been patched out, and they even bring it up, but they're like, maybe they just don't care.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it's not like a competitive.
Freedom, so it's not a competitive online multiplayer game. Like it's single player. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to watch it. Brad texted me like at 10:40 last night and said this is coming on. I gotta watch it.
I thought about it, but I knew that you were out at Hamilton and was like, I was talking to you today anyway, so.
Yeah, I'll watch the VOD for sure, because that sounds so rad. I will definitely not watch it in one go, but I'll watch it piecemeal. Anything else you played?
No, that was pretty much it.
Cool. So this week I played 2 games, just in fits and starts. I played Star Wars Battlefront II. Skip it. Just skip it. It's wow. It looks pretty. The story is so far just bad, and the gameplay is so repetitive and just like mind-numbingly dull. So for example, when I was playing as Luke Skywalker, I was defending someone near this cave, and I had to fight off these mutant spider-looking things. And it was basically like a horde mode, make sure that I defend the guy so that he can do the thing he needs to do. Later, or earlier, maybe it was later, when I was playing as Iden Versio, I was in the starship, and what I needed to do was have my droid hack into a computer, and I was hacking into a computer. I had to defend it from this hordes of enemies coming toward us. So I did that, and then you had to go to the other side and then have your droid hack into the computer and then defend it from hordes of enemies coming toward it. That's basically been the whole game so far, is defending something from hordes of enemies coming toward it. And about every 20 seconds, if you're Iden Versio, you're telling your droid to slice it, slice that, slice this, which I guess is slang in Star Wars for hacking into something.
Yes, slicing is the Star Wars term for hacking.
Yeah, so it's seriously, when you're playing as Iden, it's like every 20, slice it, droid, slice that, slice it, slice it. The most interesting, I think the best written part of the whole thing so far was Iden Versio's turn. The twist that we know about. Yeah. Obviously, it's just like the most trite thing you can see coming from 10 miles away, but it just made sense. I liked it, I guess, but that's because the rest of it's really bad, man. It's not good. I'm gonna stick with it because I want to see if it gets better, but I don't think it does. So there's that. I think you can safely skip it and watch the cutscenes, because the gameplay is just the most uninspired thing you've ever seen. It's like, let's turn some multiplayer conceits into this single player campaign.
Yeah.
Just because they're bitching about having a single player campaign. It's fucking bad, dude. And I'm only like a fourth of the way through probably, so I'll see if it changes as I go through, but I just like, why am I doing this? I know it's a short game.
Well,
so I
honestly, hopefully EA is punished for this. So.
Ugh. Oh, just what a waste of the Star Wars
basically,
license,
that's where I'm like, and by punished I mean like there's sales, of course, are less, and their stock gets hit, and they have to rethink their strategy a bit. Yeah, that would make me happy.
Well, I say this as someone who's not the big Star Wars fan. Like, I've seen all the movies, but I don't really remember them. They're like popcorn movies for me. So take it with a grain of salt, but I just don't like it so far.
Yeah.
Something that I have liked, the other thing I played this week is I got back into the Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment DLC. I think I wrote to you Plague Knight, but it's not Plague Knight. It's Spectre Knight. His mechanic, basically, he slashes, and when he slashes, he has like a locomotion mechanic.
Okay.
That just makes platforming unbelievably fun. It is so fun to move around that world. I think we talked about it last week with probably Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But it's fun to move around that game. and the platforming is so cool. And I got back and I had like 3 or 4 more bosses to beat, so I beat them, and I'm on the final level now. And just before the final level was like just the most challenging platforming of the whole game, and it was just like so satisfying to finally beat it. So now I'm going toward the final boss, and it's just Shovel Knight is so good, and the DLC has been even better.
Nice.
If you love platforming, it's also
I need to play more of it. It's another game I need to play.
Well, the Shovel Knight campaign itself is good. I had never replayed it, but it was good when I played it. But the Plague Knight, damn it,
they've just gotten better.
Spectre Knight, oh yeah, Spectre. I didn't really play Plague Knight that much, but the Spectre Knight is just unreal. It's so good. So I recommend it for sure. And that's all I played this week, and I probably put maybe 3 or 4 hours into gaming this week. Just been me and my baby.
Yeah.
Playing the baby game, keeping her alive.
Good job. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Another week alive. Good job.
Man, and you gave us this, like, it's like wooden rings on a wooden spindle.
Yep.
And seriously, like, that's all she plays with all day. She's played, like, it's been like 10 days now, all day, every day. Like, that's what she wants to play with.
Stack those rings.
Dude, as soon as I set her down, I set it in front of her, she grabs the bottom of the spindle, flips it upside down, gets all the rings off of it, and then started playing the rings. Like, she knows how to get them off, like, really quickly, and then I keep stacking them in front of her, and as soon as I stack them, she knocks them down. Like, she doesn't want stacks.
Just like,
Stack
no.
it, knocks it down.
Stop that.
Yeah. Oh, man, she's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so thanks for those rings. Those are phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Probably getting more play than my kids gave them, so...
Oh man,
my kids burned through them. They're like, oh, that was fun for like a day. Okay.
Oh
next.
no, she is all over it. She's almost like me in a way where like I will like something will catch my eye and I will just obsess over it until I just like suck all the marrow out of it. She does the same thing. Like she'll have a toy and she like that's the only toy she wants to play with for like 2 weeks, and then after that she's like, okay,
nice,
moving on. Before your rings it was plastic cups.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, that was episode 122 of Prof and Dev Play Games. We talked about the Nintendo Direct. Hopefully, there'll be another one at some point, but I think Nintendo started off the year in a strong, not blockbuster way.
They got people talking about them again. That's the key point. Keep people talking about Nintendo.
Right. One thing I wanted to say. I have been thinking for a while about my gaming resolution, what I wanted to do this year, and I've finally decided. My resolution for this year is to finish more books than video games. So if I beat like 10 video games, I have to have read 11 books basically.
Okay.
So just a way for me to read more books, because the last 2 years I've failed in my reading goals. So,
oh.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I need to get into the Expanse and get past.
There's only so much time.
3.
That's the book I'm reading right now. Is not the latest one. Book
Persepolis? Oh no.
Babylon's Ashes, the one before Persepolis.
Okay.
Which I basically saw that Persepolis came out, and I'm like, oh, I need to catch up, and I need to read 6. This is book 6. And
crazy.
My wife was asking, she's like, is it still good? Do you like it? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I like the characters a lot. So once I get into the book and start reading them, it just flows really fast.
Man,
because I just want to keep reading about the characters.
Yeah. Was Holden the character from the first book?
Yes.
Is he still in it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Spoiler, I guess, but...
Well, I mean, yeah. Sorry, guys.
Holden is not dead. Holden is probably considered the main character. So,
yeah.
But there's a lot more point of view characters. So you got through the second book, right? Calvin's War.
I'm on the third one now.
So the third one, they progressively introduce more and more point of view characters. Not as much as Martin does, though. I have a much better time keeping track of it. And sometimes they just do 1 or 2 chapter one-off characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not supposed to necessarily, you're going to not be following this character a ton, but they just want to use that person's perspective to counter someone else's perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. So you're just not expected to remember these huge characters. You're basically remember the crew of the Rossi. That's it. Like, those are the people you should mostly know about. And Avasarala, because she's awesome.
Wasn't she in the third book?
She's in the second, but she's introduced in the second book, and I'm pretty sure she's still in the third.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was point of view in the second. She's, I think, point of view in the third for sure. Swearing politician. She's fantastic. God, I love her.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember her.
Oh yeah, she's a great character. They continue with her. So
I just can't. I think this is correct. That the first book, Leviathan Wakes, came out after A Dance with Dragons, and they're probably going to finish their 9 book series.
They're consistent every year. They put one of these books out.
Yeah, and they're going to finish it before he puts out his next book.
Probably.
Which I, at this point, think is never going to happen.
No, I'd actually forgotten about Martin's books. I thought about that. I was like, oh, right. I've completely forgot about Game of Thrones.
It's probably a good idea.
Just like they exist, but I don't know if it's ever going to get finished.
I seriously fucking doubt it. He has too many other things to do, and
yeah.
I think that once the show got past him, he's like, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't know. It sucks because those are my favorite books, but I just have no faith in him writing anything anymore. He wants to edit wild cards or whatever. He's not our bitch, as Neil Gaiman says, I guess. So
it's true.
Whatever. There's plenty of other books to read and games to play. So
yeah, it's true. More than you have time for.
Absolutely.
Either of us.
Especially now.
Yeah.
I get my reading in by reading to my daughter.
There you go.
Like, I'm reading the Scalzi book right now. A bunch of it is like microfiction, which is hilarious. I'm just reading it to her, and just like, I probably wouldn't read this to you if you were. There's some sexual innuendo in some places.
But you're too, but you're so young that don't care right now. You have no clue what's happening.
Yeah, no clue. So yeah, it's fun. I'm happy to be back into reading. I think I'm 4 books into my goal this year, and it's only 2 weeks. So my way to do that was I stopped reading Reddit and just decided anytime I picked up Reddit, I just picked up a book instead.
I could see that.
And I've read a lot. So I read Reddit a little too much.
Yeah, I could. Reddit's easy. It's easy to do that with. There's always something new to read there. Always.
Exactly. Rabbit hole.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that was episode 122. Anything else to add?
No, not at all.
Cool. Well, we hope everyone had a great week, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week for episode 1, 2, 3. We'll see you next week.
Nice. All right. Later, everyone.